Hey, what's going on? David Hill here from Central Mass Homes. Excited to talk to you today about some of the things going on right now in the current real estate market. And, a few people have reached out to me recently. And so just kind of got me thinking, hey, you know what? We should probably do a regular segment, maybe once a week, and just talk about challenges as well as opportunities in the real estate market. A lot of times you probably hear about the opportunities all the time, but you're not necessarily always hearing about I'm sorry, I said it wrong. You typically are always hearing about the challenges, but very rarely do we talk about the opportunities, or do people talk about the opportunities. So excited today to talk to you for a couple minutes about both the challenges coming as we're going into 2025, into a new year, into a new cabinet in our government, and a lot of changes coming, which are going to create some really cool opportunities, in my opinion, and it may create some challenges as well. So, by the way, we're going to be posting this on our website. So we have our full blog article will be on our website to check out, which is centralmahomes.com. So www.centralmahomes.com. If you have a question, feel free to drop your question in the chat, or if you're interested, let me know. I'll keep my eyes on the chat here, and I'm even happy to bring somebody into the conversation if you want to jump in. So let me know. So first thing I want to talk about is the housing market itself. One of the things that we're all experiencing, that we're feeling, are interest rates. So the interest rates jumped up pretty high. The nice thing is they've kind of gone down a little bit. However, in the a lot of people, I think what happened is got used to really low rates during COVID. As a matter of fact, hey, I took advantage of it during COVID. We bought our home with our rate right now is 3%. So, when you look at a rate of 3%, it's kind of hard to justify or make sense out of purchasing another home, even if you need to make some changes, which is this is what a lot of people are dealing with right now. But now you have to go into a rate at 6% or 6.5%. It's tough because even if you're buying a less expensive house, because of the rate being so much higher, a lot of times the payment comes out to be the same, which is certainly what's creating some challenges. It's also creating some challenges within the inventory, because there's a lot of people that would sell, but they're not selling because it doesn't make sense, because they may need to downsize to save some money on utilities or costs, but yet at the same time, even buying a smaller house, having the same mortgage payment, it just doesn't make sense for some people. So that's the reality, right? That is a reality. So we're all experiencing that, and it's not just the interest rates, but people go to the store and you buy a bag of groceries. Maybe before, your bag of groceries was $50, and now your same bag of groceries is $80. And people are feeling that. You stop at the gas pump, right? Before, your gas $45 to fill up your tank. Now it's $60 to fill up your tank, right? So people are seeing it everywhere, and it's definitely impacting the housing market. So those are some things going on. Let me just and what is happening is it's leading to lower inventory. So the ironic part is we have less people willing to put their homes on the market, and so at the same time as the rates being high, inflation being high, you're experiencing lower inventory. And so what ends up happening is supply and demand shows us that the less supply, the higher the demand. So then people can increase their prices. Now, here's something that has been happening for anybody. I'm here in central Massachusetts. We're about 30 minutes west of Boston. What we're seeing is a lot of homes went on the market and hadn't sold. And so we're starting to see a lot of properties come off the market now that went on, at pre, not pre, post COVID times, where people were getting out of their houses, the rates were still low, and you would just, I hate to say this, but buyers were just pretty much paying whatever the sellers were asking. There were multiple offer situations. Well, certainly that's changing, right? That's changed. And so we're not seeing that anymore. And what's happening is, I think the buyers, right? And I've been doing this for 23 years. So I've gone through cycles of ups and downs where certain times buyers say, you know what? we're putting our feet down. We're done. We're not paying your asking price. And that's when the market starts to change. Okay, it starts to shift. So what's happening now is we're seeing a lot of people say, hey, you know what? I can't sell my house right now. I tried, it didn't sell. I'm just taking it off the market. You're seeing a ton of that. If you track any of the big sites like realtor.com, some of the others, you'll notice that every day more and more people are taking their home off the market. Now, don't let that discourage you, because I'll tell you what, if you have a good property, a nice property, desirable, and it's priced well, it's priced, I would use the word fair, you can still sell and you can still take advantage of it. And so that's happening too. But if you're still stuck in the, hey, I want the 2002 bidding war, that's just not happening right now. We're just not seeing that. And that's good. I mean, I think that's healthy because things need to balance out. So, some of the other issues we're seeing right now are the affordability, right? Depending on where you are, affordability is kicking in, and it's the result of all the things that I've talked about so far, with rates, with inflation, with pricing, with builders now, even with the building side of the industry. A lot of builders now, they're either not building, or if they do build, they have to jack the prices way up to offset the costs of lumber and the cost of nails and the contractor, right? Years ago, we wanted it. We were going to have our kitchen floor retiled, and so we had someone. We should have did it too, by the way. We had someone come over, and it was like $8,500, and I'm thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. So anyway, we had someone come over a couple months ago, and the same thing that was $8,500, he wanted $14,000 for him. Just like, so, I mean, that is what's going on right now. So, but now let me give some opportunities. I don't want to just be all negative. I want to give you some opportunities. So there's some cool things. There's some financial relief coming from different towns, some organizations. There's a home ownership center. So you can look into that, especially if you're a first time buyer. You can look into some of these incentive programs where they actually will give some money towards down payments. There's some opportunities to maybe get a lower interest rate depending on the lender. So those are some opportunities. Also, co-housing, right? I know a lot of us right now. Right now, I'm in an office space that's a shared office space. So we have all these different companies share a space. It's actually really great because you get to go out there and interact with other people outside of your specific industry. But co-housing, maybe sharing living arrangements with other people, family members, etc. And now in Massachusetts, I'm not sure in your state where you are, but we have what's called ADU, which is accessory dwelling unit. So this is a really cool opportunity. If you go back and watch some of our older blog, if you check out some of our older blog posts, I do talk about ADUs. I think we have two blog posts on ADUs and what that means, where you can now go out and let's say you've been in your house a while. It's a lot of space. You have a high mortgage. You don't really necessarily need all the space anymore. You don't want to keep paying a high mortgage. So you could actually convert your basement now, depending on, again, I'm not saying you can do it. I'm saying you need to talk to your town and go to the proper people, the planning board, the engineer, the town offices, and you could convert your basement into a rental unit. You could convert your garage potentially into a rental unit. So there's a lot of things you can do now, and that income now offsets your rent, right, or your mortgage payment. So there's cool opportunities with that as well. I'm trying to think. So there's lifestyle choices. I'm just looking at some other things here in my notes. I talked about the ADUs, and the tiny home is kind of similar. It's also a movement where people are building smaller homes now that are more affordable. So instead of having like the 2,500 square foot house, now you could build a 900 square foot house, and it's a lot, obviously, less space, but it costs a lot less to build. It's easier to maintain because you have lower heating costs, lower all that stuff, right? Lower taxes, all that stuff, because it's a smaller space, lower assessed value. So tiny homes are becoming really, really popular, guys. Again, this is something you want to go to your township and you want to talk to them. I know we have a few communities here in central Massachusetts with that they're looking at doing a whole community, like, a couple hundred of these little mini houses together. So that's kind of a way to help with the affordability. Um, just different ways. I'm just looking through my notes. Government programs, community programs, we talked about that earlier, ways to bridge the gap. Some things to watch for in 2025, maybe some tax credits aimed at offsetting the interest rate challenges if the rates don't come down. I think if you've been following it and watching the Feds, it looks like they may reduce the rates a little bit, but it doesn't always translate though into a mortgage rate. If a quarter percent point doesn't necessarily always translate into your mortgage rate going down a percent. So just things to keep your eye on. Also, low interest loans for energy efficient projects and renovations. So let's say you decide, hey, um, I'm going to stay in my home. It doesn't make sense to sell now, but I want to put in like a whole new heating system and maybe heat pumps and air conditioning and get my house all completely insulated. Well, there's different tax credits for that. There's also low interest rates or sometimes even no interest loans that you can get to do that on your house. There's different grants available. So there are some cool things coming, some opportunities. So I would say finish this up in 2025 for buyers. Some of the opportunities are using different tools, leverage assistance programs, this different state, federal grants. We talked about that. Consider the equity sharing partners, meaning partner with some investors maybe on community trusts that can help with some costs up front. So maybe they would have you could purchase a home, they would have a little bit of ownership as the property goes up. Maybe you could potentially buy them out. For sellers, obviously, low inventory. I talked about it earlier, supply and demand. If there's no supply, demand goes up. But there is a limit to that, right? Like it's not like it was a couple, years ago where people would just pay whatever as is, no inspections. We're just not seeing that anymore. So there has been kind of a normalizing of that. So, but again, you can easily get a fair market value or better on your home because there's inventory. Homes with sustainability are obviously more appealing to buyers. So if you have uh, energy efficient homes, homes that are well solar in some cases, well insulated. Solar is another whole animal. So we'll do another whole blog post on solar. I'm going to interview somebody as well that does a lot on the solar space because you get a lot of differences of opinion on solar. And then now finally with remote work trends, it's funny because for me, I've been working. My wife and I, we had two offices in our house, and we were working in our house 3 years, right? For like a lot of us through COVID, and now for me, it's like okay, I just wanted to get out of the house. So, but it's still nice to have that ability to set up a space in your home where you can work in your home. Now you're offsetting the cost of having to go out and have an office. So guys, I'm excited, really excited for 2025. I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there for buyers and sellers. And yeah, with technology and with AI and with virtual workspaces and shared workspaces and remote, I think there's just so much cool opportunity out there. So I'm really excited. I want to see if anybody has any. Does anybody have any questions? I see, wow, we've got about 1,800 people on it. This is phenomenal. So let's see if you guys have questions. I see John, thanks, John, said from YouTube said hello. But I think we have a lot of people right now on X. So if you guys are interested on X, I'm going to let you, you can go to the comments. What I'll do is I'll drop a link. Well, actually, I'm not going to do that. But I do want to give you the opportunity if you wanted to drop a comment in here. I'd love to kind of get some questions, or whether you're on Facebook. I see we have some people on Facebook. We have quite a few people on YouTube as well. So yeah, I'm just looking at my notes over here. But listen, guys, again, great opportunity now going into the new year. I am very bullish on. I am. I don't want to like. By the way, yeah, 100%. I'm bullish on crypto and Bitcoin. Mostly Bitcoin. Like I understand that Bitcoin is like the big dog. So, but I just feel like really really good times coming. It seems bright. I feel like so just excited. I think it's going to be a good year for a lot of us. I think a lot of us are coming out of that whole challenging time with the rates, with coming out of COVID, with being stuck in the house, with uh, high inflation and gas and just everything else that we've all been dealing with. Just seems super optimistic, and and I see more builders getting out there and starting to build, and so yeah, it seems like really, really, really good opportunities. I'm excited for the year ahead. Let me see if I have any questions, and if not, I may wrap it up. But it's good to see that we have a lot of people starting to pop on here on X. So what I talked about today were both the challenges as well as some of the opportunities going into 2025 with real estate. And just to give you a quick summary, we talked about interest rates uh, increasing, but we're starting to see a little bit of an easing now. So there is predictions. I was talking to a friend yesterday that owns a fairly large mortgage company, and there's a big difference between mortgage companies and banks, by the way. But he owns a mortgage company, and they're predicting by probably the end of Q1 they're going to see rates back into the fives, which would be nice. That would be really nice. I remember I bought my first house. I was 6.5, and I thought that was a good rate, guys. 6.5, my first house. I think we all get spoiled when it went down to 3%. So it was nice to see that. Um, so interest rates, inflation, construction costs. I don't know what we're gonna have to see what happens with that, depending on what happens with our government. What how are they gonna what are they gonna do to kind of offset some of the things with inflation? So I'm interested to see more about that. Urbanization, no, I mean we're seeing a lot of great growth here. I grew up in a town called Worcester. I mean, if you look out here right now, it's just amazing what they've done with the downtown and the Canal District and other areas. So super, super cool to see those opportunities. Again, more opportunities with efficiency in homes and ways to save money and sustainability. With different types of systems and pumps and heat pumps and all that good stuff. And then obviously downsizing, we talked about that as well with ADUs, local ordinances, depending on where you live. You want to talk to your town about potential ADU opportunities and also tiny houses, which we are seeing now some tiny house communities starting to pop up in our area. So a lot of really good things going on, guys. I mean, and so technology, government programs to watch for coming in the new year, tax credits, as well as helping to offset some of these high interest rates. So just a lot of really really cool things coming. So if I can help you guys out with any of your real estate needs, just reach out to me. My information is below. Our main website for Central Mass Homes is www.centralmahomes.com, or if you want to connect with me, go davidhill.ai. All of my contact information is there. I'd love to connect with you, see what I can do to help you with any of your home ownership needs, buying, selling questions, and also what I did right now. This is just part of a blog. We do a weekly blog post every week. We release on Saturday. Well, we release it on Friday, but we send it out to our subscription list on Saturday morning. So we're going to be talking about this whole everything I talked about. It may be more succinct, by the way, because I'm going off my notes, but I'm also trying to focus on you on the camera here. So I think I covered everything I wanted to cover. I'm just excited, excited going into the new year. And I just wish you a happy holidays. I hope you have a great holiday season and happy new year. And make sure you go on my site, centralmahomes.com, and then click on our link to our blog page, and you'll see the full blog article. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day.